This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. We're a biodynamic rare tropical fruit farm. I'm going to do a monthly update on what's been going on here. Right now it's mango bloom and baby miniature zebus, but I'll talk to them when I get over there. But we have a major mango bloom going on. So along this driveway here, I planted a row of mangoes along with a row of sugar apples, ginger, and achacha, all in a really tight, like 6-foot strip. And then, of course, I let the weeds and the grass grow. I just mow along the driveway and I mow my paths. But we have major mango bloom going on, even though the neighbors sprayed Roundup heavily right on the property line, so we can't sell any of the fruit along here biodynamic certified for 2 more years. We have to wait 3 years after an incident like that. Technically it was 20 feet away, but it was too close for me. But I was surprised to see these mangoes were blooming, and I'm curious to see whether they'll hold fruit. But there are all kinds of different varieties in here. There's 2 of each, of like peach cobbler, sweet tart, triple sec, sugar loaf. There's a bunch of other weird ones, good ones in here. Fruit punch maybe. These are 3-year-old mangoes from 3 gallons, all dry farmed. We grow everything the same way. We don't water anything. I don't water when I plant, and we don't worry about freeze or drought because we have a natural system that we grow in, which is these weeds and grasses and everything. They create a natural ecosystem that helps the plants better handle environmental stress. So too hot, too cold, too much rain. Nature buffers that. I see mangoes forming on this mango here, so that's a good sign. So the little the sugar apples have just now started emerging from their winter hibernation because they lose their leaves along here. And then the achachas are all seed grown, very small. It's going to be quite thick through here. I plan on just shearing it with a chainsaw, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to worry about it until the time comes. So we have lost a couple of sugar apples. I've replaced the sugar apples with adamoyas where they've died, only on this side where they sprayed. But they all look good. They're all blooming. So how's everyone been? I really appreciate all the community support I get via this YouTube channel. The people I've met both just online and have come by the farm have all been amazing people. Not a lot of tropical fruit people, but just people that want to grow healthy naturally. So thank you. It's my birthday today. I'm 61, so I decided to do myself a favor and do a video. I kind of got out of the habit of making them, and it seemed like something that I could do. I've been so busy. I haven't really had time to even think about making a video. Thank God I stopped making so many of them. I'm not sure who this is, but as you can see, they're all blooming. This seems to be like it's going to be a real good year, but we'll wait and see. And then there's no mangoes through here. I just have achachas. It's mostly shade right through here. And then I've continued these gingers. It's a type of galangal ginger, a lesser ginger. And I continued them every 5 feet along here, along this fence line, to help buffer the pollution I get from the neighbors, because that's the only way you can fix pollution problems is with nature. So the more plants you can shove in there and get to grow naturally, the better your system can buffer environmental pollution from humans. So I have friends that come by here and buy seeds from me all the time, or not all the time, but like for more than a year now, periodically, that grow like this. And one of them just got a job, or has got a job in a nursery, and he wanted to see the Rollinia trees because he had told people that I grow Rollinia without watering them. Yes, I do. These two trees have never been watered. They haven't produced fruit, but they're going to. There's flowers. They flower a lot. They started holding their leaves year round because they lose their leaves during drought when they're younger. They started holding their leaves last year, so they're pretty big trees now. I mean, that's pretty big. I dump a lot of inputs around them. Seems to help. So there's mulberries here. I'm gonna try to do the whole farm tour and talk a little bit about everything, what we do. So being biodynamic, we kind of have to have a closed loop system, and you have to apply compost. So we make compost and apply it, and everything you grow in pots has to be grown in compost, using compost that you make. Not that you buy, that you make on farm. So this is a Namdak Mai. Mangoes, they look good. This particular mango gave us 3 crops last year, and it's completely shaded out by this tree for at least half of its day. Probably a little more. Namdak Mai. It's the only one, it's the best producing, I find interesting. So this is a Malika, and then a Florigon that's always been kind of sickly. You know, this is along the driveway here. They did not spray the glyphosate all the way down to here, but they did it in the back along this fence line, and they did it up there along this fence line. And then of course the neighbors on the other side that used to live there burned their glyphosate dead grass, so we were bombarded. That's a Florigon mango. So I just keep praying and hoping it'll get better, and people will realize that you're polluting everyone when you're using these chemicals, and as you can see, you don't need them. That's why I started making these videos, to show people just how easy it is to grow naturally tropical fruit trees in Florida. You don't need to buy all this expensive chemicals and pollution to get fruit. Eventually somebody will see the video, whether it be this year or 20 years down the line, and they will all go, oh my God, I can't believe how beautiful that is, and you don't have to do anything. This is a sugarloaf mango. It's a little tree. It's in what's probably a very compacted spot. Probably lots of people park their cars along here, I would guess. So here's a Super Julie mango. It's a good fruit. Sugarloaf is a good fruit. I tried to buy top tier mangoes when I was buying these mangoes from the nursery Zills. And I got like 20 Sugarloaf, and I got like 20 buttercream, and I got like 20 sweet tarts, and I got like 20 fruit punch, and I got like 20, you know, you name it. I was hoarding it. So here's I'm not sure what this is, but the way it grows, I don't know. And it's got mangoes on it. This is a coconut cream, a rather big tree. I mean, it's getting there. Considering these were all tiny 3 gallons and have never been watered. So we connected some stuff to water just as an experiment, because we got a good well that I could use, and but the mangoes were never connected to water. You can see that these are going to produce fruit. I can see that. Trying to see if I can see some fruit. There's a buttercream mango. I'll go down there later. I'm gonna go look at the zebus. So the zebus, we got 3 babies. 1 new heifer calved. So she's a cow now. And then our 2 cows from the calf last year, each had a calf. Look at these Thai sweet tamarinds. Sweet pink tamarinds. They're good. I've tasted the fruit off them. They're definitely sweet. You know, because sometimes you just don't know what you're gonna get from the nurseries. People make mistakes. So the lychees are all blooming. Notice our lychees don't have any of those leaf cutting, or the mites, but the leaf cutting insects that make the trees look so nasty with their leaves that are all cut up and eaten. We don't have that, knock on wood. So here's a Venus mango. Look at that. You should smell the air. And see the mangoes? See the powdery mildew? I'll show you the mangoes. It cleans off the dead foliage, but it doesn't harm the fruit. Some trees have been more susceptible, and I know that when you apply, nitrogen and phosphorus at the same time, is that it? That you favor fungal antagonists rather than fungal benefits, plant beneficial fungi. This one's got some fruit on it. This had powdery mildew last year. These 3 trees here, I think it's because they get they're so close to the manure, so they're getting nitrogen and phosphorus. So this is my little girl Pepsi. She's only 2 years old. She's only 32 inches tall. She's a very good bloodline, and she's like a sweet little angel. And I can milk her, and we can milk all these. These are all cow-raised zebu, but my partner is like a zebu calmer, and he's able to calm the wildest, squirreliest zebu and milk them out. So little heifers that nobody talks about it, but sorry, Pepsi, she don't like it when I'm talking on this thing. When the heifers first have a baby, their tits, they don't know, and their tits are sore. So I had to milk her out for this little guy to nurse. Come here, Cooper. But she'll let you milk her. Right, Peps? Hi, honey. See? Oh, she's so sweet. She's the sweetest, most calmest cow or animal I've ever had in my life. This is Carnation. She's a little squirrely. So she's 32 inches tall. And she's 34 inches tall. She's skinny. Her baby's older. So this baby is, little Cooper is 3 weeks old. So I collect the weeds that grow on our orchard floor, and I give to them 3 times a day. They love it. They look forward to it. So this is little Skylar. Come here, you little snot. Come here. Hey. Hi, little sweetie. They're so tame. It's you gonna chew your cud? He's a month old tomorrow. They're just sweet little darling cows. There's not a mean bone in our bottom and their body. And then this is Liam. He was just born on February 13th. And he's got like a 13 on his face. That's why I called him that, because I'm like, is he gonna die? I thought he was gonna die. And this is our squirreliest cow, and she's a big cow. And I can't get near her sometimes, because she just is like super squirrely. And so I called my partner up. They have real high stress job, and I said, you have to come home, this is cow emergency. And because I knew he would be able to, look at that little butt of his. I knew that he would be able to calm her and milk her out. Look at her udder. She has so much milk. I mean, Zebus do have a lot of milk. When the babies are tiny like that, I think you could probably milk them. But as the babies grow, you probably have to watch to see how much milk they're producing. But I didn't think you could do it, but we can milk all three of ours. He can milk this cow. He also can calm our bull. I might as well go over and show her. We keep them separated because they're mean to the babies. Cows are mean to other babies. Hi, Fish. She's really pretty. She's a good girl. She's a good mother. See the 13 on the side of his face? Yeah, it's kind of sideways. He's really cute. There you can see it. Yep. This is Midnight, our bull. He was in with her when he had the baby, and the baby wasn't drinking. I had to get a bottle and revive it and make my partner come home. Because his mouth was cold, his legs were cold. I thought for sure it was gonna die. But then I could feel that he wasn't drinking it, but he was swallowing it, the milk, when I had it on the bottle for just a second, because she wouldn't let him nurse. It was her first baby that survived. Last year, she wouldn't let him nurse either, because the new heifer had to be milked out. So he milked her out. The baby started drinking, and now the rest is history. It's doing great. This is our little bull, Midnight. He's really sweet. He's 32 inches tall. Look at what a beefcake he is. I mean, look at that. He's like a little sausage. Only 3 years old. Look at the size of that hump. And he's sweet. And I move him in and out of here because I lock her in here at night because he gets to sleep here. We're going to build an awning over this so that we could have them all together. Anyway, that's the miniature Zebu. That's Carnation. I love them. We want to do this full time, so we're selling our beach house and we want to buy a cow ranch. But I mean, can you blame us? I'm here to worship, or not worship them, but I'm here to serve them. I love it. That's what I like to do. I haven't had time to do anything. I clean their stalls 3 times. I have to collect the manure. That's piles of manure. This is one time, and now it's 3 times a day while they're in here. But they like it clean, and they like lots of hay. And the donkey ladies are the ones that are fat now because they sit and beg, and so I give them hay, and I don't even think they've been out on the pasture. Now they're just donkey house mouses. Anyway, bye you guys. That little baby. He's so cute. They're all so cute. Love them. Who doesn't? So I believe our success is totally due to them. The Zebu have been used in India. Not the Zebu, but they call them something else. Panganur. Desi cows, indigenous cow, humped cow of India, but these are the miniature ones that they use in India for all their fertility, for the best fertility. Who'd have thought? That's what I did. That's why I got them, because I knew that. So I wish this tree would bloom. It's our biggest lychee tree, but it's not doing it. Okay, so we did those mangoes, so then we'll go down here. So these are my new paths they used to be my foot paths, so I started mowing them. And this is, who is this? This is Honey Kiss. Always a good producer. I'm not even worried about it. In fact, I can see mangoes right there. Yep. This is peach cobbler. This Honey Kiss is 6 years probably. This is 3 years. And it's much larger. This is a peach cobbler from a small 3 gallon, never been watered. This is our koi mucks. There's still lots of interest in koi muck. Somebody recently asked Jolis on the YouTube channel about the koi muck. It's my favorite fruit. I see there's fruit on it right now. It doesn't seem to stop. It will flower and fruit all year, but does it? Maybe not continuously, but it sure seems like it. Leafing and has fruit on it now, and it's got new flowers on it. So it had a huge giant bloom of flower, but I just see a couple of fruit, but it'll keep flowering and fruiting all year long. This is that peach cobbler mango. It looks good. So yeah, this is our orchard floor. This took a long time to get to look like this. This is what I like. And then that's my manure. I drop a pile of that daily, those piles that you see in the barn. So this is a pineapple pleasure, and you can see the powdery mildew on that, but it's not affecting the one that the mangoes are on. Sure, does it take off some of them? Yeah, but they're tiny trees, so I don't really care. This is a fruit punch mango. I'm not gonna put any manure here next year, but I see the powdery mildew is a lot less this year. It's not on all the trees, it's just on this group, which probably always had the most inputs. This is a Venus tree. I don't see a lot of fruit on it. This is a sugarloaf tree, and I don't see a lot of fruit on this tree, but I do see some. But it's a small tree still, but I see it's got some fruit on there. This one doesn't have the powdery mildew. Never has. This is a big sweet tart tree. It's quite large actually for here. This is a jackfruit tree. Oh, this is a Ras Sapote. This is a Ras Sapote. This is a Ras Sapote. I think I scared the wood ducks away. They have, I think, a nest in our tree. So there's like sugar apples, little sugar apples here. That's a giant Inga Vera. This is a fruiting grafted jackfruit tree. Doesn't have any fruit on it at the moment. This is Diamond. It's got fruit all over it. It's been a very good producer, Diamond. I like the mangoes. It's one of those things you have to like catch them, you have to ripen them correctly or something, or pick them right. But I, for some reason, I always pick early because I'm worried the birds are going to peck my fruit. So when in doubt, I pick. And so I think that's what it is. Stuff like Lancettia that doesn't like to be picked early, I discovered I haven't had success with, but at least I know to leave that on longer. It's just figuring out all this stuff. So these are the weeds that I collect daily. I collect them along my path. I go along here and get about 20 pounds of weeds 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my cows. And then I divide that for my little cows. Mostly is beans and grasses and Inga leaves and jackfruit leaves, because jackfruit leaves in India, they say it increases milk production, and I believe it because it seems to have worked. There's a little sapodilla tree, and this is I'm not sure who this is, but it's got a lot of big bloom on it. This is a M4. I'm gonna go back this way, I guess, and now I'll go up there around. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Yep, I went this way and then I went back. I'm trying to get all the mangoes. They're spread out over 10 acres, basically. Which I'm glad I did, because seems like each mango has a different flavor, even though it could be the same type of grafted tree, say like a sweet tart. But a mango planted in the back of the property tastes completely like a different fruit than the one planted up by the house. I mean, you can still tell it's a sweet tart, but the flavors are completely different. This is a sugar loaf. It's got lots of fruit on it, it looks like. Female flowers. Good sign. No powdery mildew. That's a terrelay. It's not even, I think that's the only tree we have that's not blooming. So there's these lychees that got affected. Was affected by the summer drought. Been putting some manure around, but that one's not blooming. But this one looks like it is blooming. There's one here. I need to cut these pepper trees back. But we have wood ducks in there that I just scared away. Sorry. This one's not blooming. It's seedling jackfruit. It's citrus. So why do people have so much trouble with citrus? I mean, I just don't get it. All the different types of citrus we grow here, it's not the oak that's going to protect your tree. That is like, I just can't believe people think that the oak tree is the cure-all for the citrus. It's the orchard floor. The health of the orchard floor. If your orchard floor isn't able to produce something that looks like this, well, I mean, if it's like an anemic weed patch when you try to grow it out, your citrus is probably going to get greening, but and not be able to survive. But if you can get it to like grow in a more naturalized environment, because remember, it's not a product that fixes your plant, it's nature. So the more nature that you put into your system is the only way that your plant is going to become resilient enough to withstand the pest and disease pressures brought on by environmental stress or human-caused chemical stress, because that's what happens. Just saying. Here's a cashew. This is a fruiting cashew. We've got a lot of seedlings from this tree. In fact, there's probably a couple growing underneath it. There is right here, I see. The birds love this fruit. I love this fruit, and they seem to peck it, but I get the seeds from it, and it produces fruit when it rains. So it seems kind of early, but that's trying to produce fruit. It hasn't been raining, but it feels very wet here still. The moisture in the air, and with all this carbon that gets captured, it captures the moisture, it holds it in the system rather than let it evaporate. So this is a citrus. It looks very, very healthy. I just got the last fruit off of it. In fact, it was these trees, I pulled all the fruit off of them because they got so damaged by the birds, the blackbirds and the starlings and I think it was the starlings. I like them, but they damaged a lot of fruit last year. Citrus fruit. They do it when the fruit's small and green. They peck it, but they're getting ready they're blooming. Hopefully, eventually our trees will have so many of them that they won't be able to attack it all. Here's another lychee tree. So here's a Valkyrie tree. And these are lychees. I'm gonna go back this way, and then I'm gonna go I'll go to the back mangoes first. So I'll just continue on with this, and then I'll go back the other way. Something different. So there's lychees and mangoes and jackfruit and citrus. There's a sugarloaf mango. There's a lychee. Lychees is a guarantee will all get eaten by the birds. That's another one there. Hopefully, there's a mango here that's blooming. I didn't even see it. I believe it's buttercream. Yep, growing next to this oak tree. So I'm gonna like syntropic agriculture this oak tree, just to give that little buttercream mango a head start. So there's different types of mangoes in here, planted at different times. And then this part was really affected by the freeze. So I'm not gonna talk about any of the frozen mangoes. Those are the ones that are gonna be small. But I don't count them in my mangoes. I just have written them off, even though some of them are blooming, but I'll just look at these that are all flowering. This is sugarloaf, or no, sweet tart. And I can see that it's gonna have lots of fruit on it. Come on, camera, act like that, there you go. Trees back here look really good. It's the cow pasture. So these are those mangoes I was talking about. There's a bunch in here. Not a bunch, but like 5 that froze. So then there's that one back there. That's buttercream. That's buttercream. This is, I'm not sure who that is. This is cotton candy. I saw monarch butterflies on the flowers there. I see monarch butterflies on our mango flowers. We have a whole population of monarch butterflies that live here. So this is cotton candy. That was one that froze. So people are all concerned about the beetles getting into their mango wood, but you see, we have fungi in ours. We don't get the beetles. We don't worry about that kind of stuff because we focus on the natural habitat to grow our system. We believe in the natural habitat. So there's monarch butterflies. Definitely pollinating the mangoes. These are all cotton candy. This is sweet tart. I just get mesmerized by them because they're so beautiful and they smell so freaking good that it's, this one has a little powdery mildew on it, I see, but not to worry. This one is not blooming, but it's got that oak tree there, so it might be delayed. I see it's starting to bloom now. I see a bloom coming on it, so yeah, you can see a bloom right there. It just had a delayed response because of the shade. There's one of those frozen mangoes. There's a frozen mango. There was a frozen mango, but it actually has bloom on it. So that's a sweet tart. This is sweet tart. This is sweet tart. These are mostly all sweet tart in here. These are 3 gallon. They were planted as 3 gallon 3 years ago. Dry farm, just left back here. See the fruit on there? I could see the fruit. Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good year, hopefully. She's just starting to bloom up. That one's, is it blooming? I thought they were all blooming. That one doesn't look like it. This one is. This is a sweet tart. This is a sweet tart. These two, I don't see any bloom on them, but it looks like they might be starting. Here's a sweet tart that's blooming. Sweet tart, sweet tart. Seed grown. I've got lots of seed grown trees, but I'm not gonna look at those because they're all over the place. This is a fruit punch mango. It's a orange crushed jackfruit. These are all dry farmed. Everything's grown the same way. So we apply compost. We apply the biodynamic preps once a year, 500, 501, and we make biodynamic compost. So the fruit punch is looking like there's lots of fruit on it. I love fruit punch. I like all these mangoes that I mentioned. This one, for some reason, oh, it's blooming. It's just starting. This one's very small. It's not blooming. This one is covered in fruit. and covered in bloom. And then I have a bunch of little trees through here. I got little cashews. This is donkey pasture, but then I plant seedlings in here. There's little chachas. I put stakes. Actually, that's a mango. That stake that's an achacha right there. You can't really see it. I would have to go up in there. We're focusing on mangoes. Fruit punch, fruit punch, fruit punch, fruit punch, fruit punch. They're all starting to bloom. Valkyrie, that's a very good mango, Valkyrie. Valkyrie. There's a little gem that actually froze back, but it looks okay. I think that's a Valkyrie. Here's a Valkyrie that froze. And this is like a pine forest that sprang up here when we stopped mowing. So the mowing creates a natural environment that enables your plant to have an immune system that it can tap into to combat and signal for help. Combat disease and insect pressures. That's what it is. You can't keep removing stuff and killing stuff and expect to get a healthy immune response for your plant. And you can't expect one thing to be the cure-all. The one thing is the healthy system. That's the cure-all. And if you have to pick one thing, it would have to be the creature that I like serving, the indigenous cow of India, the Bos Taurus. So these are cotton candy. I'll try to remember to show my vegetable garden, which is just like stellar this year. Dry farmed, the sweetest lettuce ever. Spicy, sweet arugula. It's just incredible. I just mixed the rock zebu manure in the sand and planted seeds. And voila, dry farmed vegetables in Florida. Totally possible. This is ice cream mango. So these are cotton candy mangoes. I forgot to talk about them. I got sidetracked on the bovine. I got excited. So I'll have to do it from the other side because of the sun. But these right here that you can see are ice cream. It's ice cream, pretty big. She's a pretty big mango. For ice cream, it's a small mango. And it's a multi-season producer. So it has a long season. It produced 3 crops before for us. Not that tree, but one of the other. This is a Valencia Pride. This is a Valencia Pride that produced fruit last year, and it's given us another big crop this year, which I thought they weren't supposed to do, but you could see it's covered in fruit. And then there's some other stuff. I'll talk about them from the other side, but there's a big cogshell there. I don't really like cogshell. I like the flavor of it, but I don't like the string in it. It's got a little bit, it's not smooth enough for me. These are cherry mangoes right there. This is another ice cream mango. So I'm so busy with the cows. The cows, the zebus, the cows and the bulls were not a problem or not a lot of work. It's with the babies. Cows with babies are work. Keeping them separate and the bull away and blah, blah, blah. Because he'd already have them bred by now because they've been in heat a few times already since they had the baby. The babies, they're so cute. I love them. So I have been planting all this back 5 acres. I'm just doing direct sown seeds. So I direct sowed a bunch of seeds in here. I'm going to direct sow a bunch of I smell glyphosate. I can tell the neighbor's spraying again. I'm gonna direct sow a bunch of sugar apple seeds. Maybe not. No, I don't smell it. It smelled like a chemical for a second. I'm so paranoid. So I'm not even gonna go over there. Well, maybe I should. It's really pretty here. People want to buy this property because I did those videos, and so it's like, oh my god. Yeah, we don't want to sell. It's not for sale. It's kind of like it's turned into paradise for us here, basically. And we couldn't afford to redo it with all these trees to get to grow naturally because it was pretty hard. So I put sugar cane. I planted sugar cane. I see this one's coming up. There's others coming up over there. I'm not going to bother looking for lemon seeds, but I put some heliconia back here. I'm trying to plant the ginger all along these paths. So this is a peach cobbler mango, and it's got bloom all over it. It's a big tree. It's got to be 5 years old. This is a sweetheart mango. This is the one I did the video of, the dry farm mango. It's out here in the middle of nowhere, and people thought I was being cruel. But does it look like the tree suffers? This is I think, lemon meringue mango. This one will have fruit on it, lots of fruit. That's just kind of, everything's blooming right now. I was worried we weren't getting any fruit, but I've seen lots of fruit. Because when people spray Roundup, then it affects the hormones of the mangoes, and they have trouble holding fruit. So I don't see a lot of fruit on this lemon meringue, but I don't see any powdery mildew. Maybe on this side there will be fruit, but this tree is not. I know everyone raves about lemon meringue or lemon zest. This is lemon zest, not lemon meringue. But it's okay. I don't consider it my favorite. Yeah, there's some fruit on it. There's a little bit of powdery mildew, but we'll see. So I planted lots of achachas and stuff through this. Everywhere that's weeds and stuff, it's all planting area now, and the soil is like so good and aggregated, and it's just anything you put in there basically grows now. It took a while to get it so anything would grow in it. So this is the Lancettia tree that I was talking about, that if you pick it too soon, the fruit's like repulsive. Of course, I only send this fruit to people. I didn't realize it. And then I tasted the fruit and I'm like, oh my God, it's nasty. But I've had them when I let them ripen longer and they were good. So here's a Kerry mango. Boy, it smells so good here. These trees produce okay. These Kerry, that's Kerry. Kerry. This is ice cream. Is everyone's mangoes doing this? Probably. That's a coggshall. That's a big Valencia Pride. Here's a coggshall. This is a Kerry. Okay, Kerry has a habit of producing all male flowers, but I'm actually seeing some. Am I seeing fruit on this? No. This tree flowers year round. Maybe there's some fruit, maybe there's not. I don't know. I can't see any, but this tree has a habit of flowering and not setting fruit and then flowering again. And it's quite beautiful. It's a beautiful tree. It smells so good. So there's lots of bugs. So we get love bugs mostly and flies, and we also get butterflies and I other bugs that are pollinators. So it's not just the flies. It's a multi ecosystem nectar source, or a multi-species nectar source. Here's the ice cream. These will produce. Ice creams always produce. They're good fruit. I like ice cream. I don't see any fruit, but doesn't mean anything. It always produces. Cotton candy, cotton candy, cotton candy, cotton candy, cotton candy. That one froze. We don't talk about those. This is pasture over there. There's another pond over there. This is a Priestley Adamoya. There's pigeon pea and stuff finally coming up in here that I've scattered about. I don't think I really have to do anything anymore back here. I will continue to do the biodynamic preps and apply compost sparingly, but I don't think it's necessary. Seems like the fungi attack the areas that got the more nutrients. So these are getting nutrients, but it's from the pasture, which is like 20 feet away. I got lots of little cashews and stuff growing in here. Here's that little achacha trees. The cashews look good. It's a little seed-grown mango. This part it looks like it got froze there, almost. I'm not sure why it died back, but looks like it's doing well. These all have fruit on them. Here's another little cashew. These cashew trees get quite large, so eventually this is just going to be a tunnel through here. There's that new path. The new path that's slowly getting compacted. It's not really a new path. It's, a footpath I had that I didn't ever mow, and decided to mow it just because I wanted to be able to get the wheelbarrow through there. For harvesting fruit and stuff. These are the little mangoes that I was talking about weren't, they're doing okay. This was the last area on our property that had standing water. Oh, so the neighbor's place that he put it, that sold like in June of last year for $1.25 million to a couple from California, from Napa. It was all dragon fruit right here. They removed it all and put it on the market like 3 weeks ago, and like it went pending quick, it went pending while it still said new. So it's getting a new owner. It looks better without the plastic containers. The forest that used to be there was the best, but that's just a distant memory. Hopefully they're biodynamic or organic people. I couldn't imagine why you would move next door to a biodynamic farm and spray, because they don't believe in it in Florida. Is not a reason. Organic is so easy here. It's really amazing that they tell you can't do it organically. I mean, this is proof that what they say is not true. So that's why I do the videos. So these are citrus. I mean, our citrus, do you see greening on our citrus? I mean, I sure as hell haven't seen greening on it. Knock on wood. Little pigeon pea, lychees, mango, lychees, blooming lychees. We got about 34 lychees. We don't have mite. We had some sort of mite. It wasn't arachnos mite, but that was like 2 years ago now, and it went away. We don't have any. Because we focus on the plant's immune system, which is the natural orchard floor. It's the only thing that can fix all the problems for your plant. For your trees, this is J33 jackfruit. It's another lychee. There's a citrus. I was looking at mangoes. This is a mango. This is a really bad area. So look at this area. It hadn't been mowed in 3 years, but look at how short the grass is. I mean, it's like 5 inches tall. That's compaction. And that mango is still stunted because of it. That citrus is stunted because of it. This lychee is stunted because of it. I think it's finally starting to get fixed. I mean, I have put so much stuff in here, but I should have, I didn't realize that was what it was until it's been like 7 years. So it's mostly all fixed, but I'm going to put some horns. I'm going to plant this is what I do with the biodynamic 500 horns I make. I make a large amount of them. I stuff cow manure in a horn. My cows don't lactate that time of year, so I stuff cow manure in a horn and I bury it at the fall equinox around the large live oak tree where I make biodynamic compost, and then I dig it up in the spring equinox. And then as soon as I dig it up, I rebury the whole horn in areas like that are compacted, or areas that have had plants freeze before, or areas that plants just don't grow well in. Or areas that I used to have standing water in. We don't have standing water, which is like amazing for Florida, but it seems to work. And I only have a few areas left, and I get people that want the horn. I have a list of people that want the horns now. So I have a good friend of mine, that Gemma over in Sarasota, and she makes her own. She buys the cow manure from us and makes her own horn. Okay, so I'm gonna finish going around this way. Place is looking good though. This is a cashew. It's looking great. Not all our trees is the same size as a seed mango because it's just me planting it. And this is my citrus. This is how big the citrus trees are that I showed you when I plant them. What is that, 2 inches? And during drought, during this time of year when very little rain. Same with the cacao. So a friend gave me like 35 seedlings of cacao. That's what that is. And it's doing fine. Some of them died, but not everything lives. That's why you plant seeds. Some have to become nutrients for your tree. There's a big achacha. Some of our are not achachas. Luke's Garcinia. Sorry. There's a mango that that's Super Julie back there. It's flowering. This one's not flowering. This is that MB tree. You see it's not flowering yet. This is the one that produces the fruit, the female, the hermaphrodite tree, I guess. That is a grafted tree. And it's not flowering yet. There's a white sapote. It's finally looking good. There's a big old santal in here, and then there's like different garcinias I planted through here, but I can't really see any. There's a big santal tree, about 12 feet tall. Never ever got affected by the drought or the freeze. This santal tree, same thing, it's big. They have not produced any fruit yet. There's a white sapote right here. I'm not afraid to plant next to other trees. And other trees, there's a white sapote. It's trying to. I don't like the vines growing on my trees. Lychees, swamp. We've been down this trail already, but it looks different from this angle. So there's a male imbi tree, and it is actually like trying to flower hardcore. This male tree produces sporadic fruit. So this Inga tree should give us fruit, but it's Inga vera, and it has flowers, but there's not another Inga tree right near here. And so far it hasn't given us fruit, but friend of mine, one of my friends, gave me seeds when they were here, traded seeds with me, because I like to trade. Here's that M4 mango. There's that other mango. I think that's cotton candy is what I think that is. But I'm not sure. It hasn't produced fruit for us yet. Surprisingly, M4, it's a good mango. I see little mangoes on there, maybe. Keep my fingers crossed. This is those wax jambu trees. They finally put our electric pole on there. So this is a purple hog plum. And then we're back here. Indicus spectabilis. Indicus spectabilis. This is pomelo. So, you know, these are all dry farmed. No greening, people. Hello. It's not the oak trees. I had one tree die. It was the one that was planted directly under oak trees. So it's the whole system. I'm sure the oaks have an integral part in creating the immunity for the citrus in the soil. But to be a standalone product that's going to save the citrus industry is, I mean, it's very low. It's like it's not going to happen. It's not one thing that's going to fix the problem. The only thing that fixes it is nature. This is a pomelo. There's a little Garcinia dulcis. Looking good. This is something I normally would not plant. Something's tart. This is a Rangapuri lime. What a gift. Yep, growing right next to the cha-cha. The Quaimak. My friend that I gave seeds of ours, fruit to, Quaimak is my favorite fruit. Sorry, I was eating a leaf. And he said he has bananas growing right next to his Quaimak seedling from our seeds, and the trees are like this big, like as big as this. This is like a 3-year-old tree. His are only a year, I think. He doesn't water. But I noticed that bananas help a system, so that's why I've propagated more than 300 now. So I'm over 303 bananas. I break off the pups every time they do it. So this is a big Inga tree, it's Inga fuilii. And then I have like our seed grown jackfruit in here. There's some other jackfruits, but I walked by, I forgot to mention. And then I have abiu growing in here. And these are all dry farmed, it is possible. And you know, Jocko Beach, star apple. And this is another fruiting Quaimuk tree, a different type. We have two types of Quaimuk trees. We have two types of achacha trees. We have the improved selection of achacha trees, and we have the regular old achacha, you know, improved variety from Bolivia. This is a Garcinia macrophylla growing inside this heliconia. This is a, you know, pine cone ginger that's evergreen. You know, like the awapui, but it's the evergreen variety. Very pretty. Spectabilis is what it's called. Here's my roses. My roses never went into summer winter shutdown. This is a rose called Adam, a tea rose. It was the first tea rose, not hybrid tea, the first tea rose from the 19th century. Does well in our climate, but I'm gonna have to air layer my roses to get them to root in the spring. So I'm gonna do that. I think I'm going to do it. I'm gonna plan on doing it. So this is a juicy pearl star apple. There's all kinds of crap growing in here. Smells really good in here. Citrusy. What is that? Something's got to be in bloom, citrus-like. So this is a achacha. Maybe the achacha is starting to bloom, but I don't see any new leaf on it. So this is a fruiting achacha tree that's getting quite large, and I smell something blooming, but I don't think it's that. I'm not even going to look because it's not. It's a really delicious sapodilla that's getting quite big finally. There's other stuff in there, but we're looking at mangoes today, so I'm going to get back on course and look at the mangoes because we're almost done. Oh, I had an abiu here. Here it is. Oh, it looks good. Finally, it took me a while to get the abiu figured out. They just wanted better soil. Very hard to do this if you're not watering, because everyone's seed stock is from basically chemical agriculture, so they're not adapted to grow naturally anymore. Like the bananas that you divide that you don't plan on watering, if they come from a nursery, they're going to really have trouble adapting. Like these achacha trees that came from a nursery, they had trouble adapting to natural growing conditions. So I think it's better to get the seed sourced from as close to wild or naturally growing as possible, and you're better off just planting the seeds direct sowed in the ground, I think, in most cases. I'm experimenting with the direct sowing. So this is another citrus. This is a sweet orange citrus. Look at how healthy that is. There's another citrus over here, right there. It's a sweet orange. It's a achacha. There's all kinds of stuff growing through here. Is there any mangoes through here? These are my new paths. So proud of my new paths. So yeah, I decided that, I collect the weeds for the cows. So I just collect from along the paths, along the sides. You can't even tell. Trying to get this all growed up in here with bananas. But this is a fruiting Garcinia intermedia. There's some bananas, finally. Banana. And then cassava. I did lots of cassava. wanted to divide this, but it has a small cluster of bananas. But our bananas were so limited because of the hurricane, back-to-back hurricanes last year that gave us such a hard time. So here's another citrus. This might be a lime, key lime, or a lime, because the leaves are very small on it. Here's a little, here's rose apples. These are seed-grown rose apples. And the citrus is all seed-grown from organic seeds. This is a kumquat. Okay, I always talk about my Nochlea latifolia, the African peach, but she's looking very good. This one. And here's the cacao. And does she have any fruit on her? It's like she doesn't, but she probably will. She fruited last year. It's from seed. I thought it was like 5 years. She's 7 years old from seed. Here's my little Monstera deliciosa cuttings. This is a Talicia florescii. This is a seedling off that cacao from last year. There's really so much stuff here now. It's just, with all these trails, it's like I can really like see everything, and it's like, here's another citrus. Okay, so this is a wampy, a citrus relative, and it does really good here, and I'm really excited about this. It's not the purple one or something anyway. I think it's just the gold one. I'm not sure. I think there's more than one color of those. They sound delicious, grape-like. Do really well. This is Eki, doing great. So Achacha bananas, of course. Here's I did tons and tons of mulberry cuttings. And they're all doing good. Achachas, bananas. Of course, this was hurricane damage. Obviously, there was a tornado or something for it to flip that up and go straight down. Achacha. Here's a Garcinia gardneriana. Got fruit on it. Got fruit, got flowers. It's never flowered this high up. Good, it's gonna be a big, good Garcinia year. That's like a hermaphrodite plant. There's a bunch of little stuff in here. Got lots of little stuff that I always walk by, but there's lots of mulberry cuttings, and there's little different cherry of the Rio Grandes, like the orange one, the black one, the giant one. And then I have sweet potatoes I've done in here that I see are coming up. Got the turkey mulberry that everyone's passing around. Oh, it's got fruit on it, great. It had lost its leaves, but it's doing good. Would have been mangoes through here, but they all froze back, and I ain't gonna bother talking about them. But there's other stuff coming up in here now, so that's okay. Bananas, mulberries, santals. Here's a cherry of the Rio Grande that has really good black fruit on it. Quite delicious. But I don't see it flowering. But that doesn't mean it's not going to. It's flowered every year, so. Did it flower? Yeah, it flowered last year, even after the freeze. Oh, we have black sapotes still. Black sapotes have been good. I haven't been picking them, but people come by here and grab one every now and then, or two or three. There's a big mango. I'm not sure who it is. So yeah, here's a bananas and sugar cane and mulberries, and I'm gonna plant seed mangoes in here. Here's a female Garcinia humbromiana tree that's not blooming yet. The males started blooming, but this one, she got burnt by the 32 degrees, or no, 33 degrees. See that? That was new leaf growth that got burnt from it. But it had never been affected before. So this is a Garcinia gardneriana that the leaves look totally different than the other one and produces the same fruit. It must be an improved variety. It produces more fruit. I don't know what the difference is, but the leaves are definitely different. That one has more achacha leaves. There just must be a huge range of diversity in the Garcinia intermediates, is what I'm thinking. This is a black sapote tree. Just want to look at these Garcinias because they're starting to bloom. It's Garcinia brasiliensis that you eat the skin on. I love that. It's delicious. Intermediates you eat the skin on, and intermediates you don't eat the skin on. That's the one you eat the skin on. This is a red flowering Garcinia, but it could just be a male humbromiana, but it obviously has pink tinge to the flower. Just starting, because this thing will get covered in blooms, and so it's just waking up. It's a big tree now. So a lot of my trees, like the inga trees and stuff, I've planted different Garcinia trees. I also did it at the base of this tree. So it's got a macrophylla, it's got a mandruno, and it's got a dulcis, and then it's got another macrophylla. Really, really healthy trees. They do not seem to mind drought, cold, or in this cold. And they just, I don't know, they always look beautiful. They're just beautiful trees. I mean, healthy and green. I mean, look at them. They look like the black sapote, but more consistent. So this is a type of ginger that's the Thai, like officinalis. It's an evergreen one. It's delicious. Got other stuff in here. There's a nice looking Luke's Garcinia. See it? Of course you do. It's right there. Okay. I'm gonna continue back. Look at the mangoes. There's a mango I want to talk about. There's a couple over there. This was all mangoes through here that got froze, but this was a standing water area, so it was always a troubled spot. And I see the bananas are starting to pop up. They'll fix the system. Cows love all these weeds, love them. The bidens, that's so full of phytochemicals. And everyone mows their pastures here. It's like, why are you mowing the pastures? Because they like the variety. They usually pass the grass up I bring them, but they'll eat it, but they'll eat the bidens first. And they like the inga leaves, and different cows like different stuff. They like some cows like the sugar cane leaf, some cows don't. This is a orange essence or orange sherbet mango. This tree produces way too much fruit, and I thought about cutting or not letting it produce any fruit for me this year, because it's just like every year it produces tons of fruit and the tree just suffers. This one is a fruit punch that's still suffering. This is a Miami guanabana. This is a peach cobbler mango. These littler mangoes, these are like 3 years old from 3 gallons, dry farmed. That's a froze mango. That's a, banana. This is in the egg fruit family. This is a gift from my friend Frank. It's not lucuma, it's the other one. It's supposed to be pretty good. Cinnamon apple or something like that. This is a orange sherbet mango. Looks good. Smells good. This is a all summer mango. Yeah. I like all summer. It's very good. This is a citrus. Our Miko lemon. It's our Miko lemon. It's a mango that froze. There's a big achacha. I've been passing by like big achachas and stuff. People are afraid to plant their stuff in the ground, but I mean, where are you at? If you're in Florida, if you're in 10A, you should be okay, but California is different. California's 10A isn't the same as our 10A. It's always tropical here. It's just the couple of days it's not. So it's always hot. So it's been almost too hot, to be honest with you. This is a buttercream mango. She's gonna have fruit on her. This was all full of mangoes, but there's a cha-cha coming through here. Where are you? Right there. And then there's this mango froze, but it's getting big. You wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it, but it's come back. I'm not sure who it is. This is these citrus trees, 5 years from seed. And you saw how tiny they were when I plant them. And look at how healthy they are. Sure, the leaves that were on there were looking haggard and were sun bleached, but they were year-old leaves that lived through 2 hurricanes and a drought and leaf miner. But look at the new leaves. I mean, and these produce hundreds of fruit, big, juicy lemons that you don't have to water. And they don't have greening. I don't know what these people do, but it's crazy. There's a big achacha right there, I'm telling you. That is a big achacha tree. That's probably gonna be our next achacha tree to fruit. And it was planted in full sun. It was a nursery tree. And out of our nursery trees, I did connect 40 nursery achacha trees to the water when I connected some of our grafted trees to water. This is the only one, this is the only one that didn't get connected to the, should I go in there and look at it? No, I don't want to get stickers all over me. That's a Florigon mango. Looks like it's gonna have a lot of fruit. And then we have, this is a seed grown black sapote. We have a nice looking rack of bananas up there. We do have quite a few bananas coming on. I can find fruit year round on this farm now. Which is really nice. It's just like been my dream, but it was a lot harder than I thought. It wasn't so easy. I didn't know everything that I know now. There's the lemons, Miko lemon. We're just getting new leaves starting to bloom up. There's a mango that froze back. There's a jackfruit that this happened during the drought, the summer drought. It had dieback on that branch. It's a store-bought tree. It's orange sherbet, I think. This is where all the mangoes froze through here. There's a whole row of them. I don't even count in my mango count anymore. And I put a bunch of horns in here. This year we had no frost on our property. There was a tiny little spots that you wouldn't even notice. It was like minimal. And everywhere else had frost on it, but our property didn't have frost. But what I did is I buried like 30 horns in here, those biodynamic horns. As soon as I dig them up, I put them in a bucket with compost and keep them in the shade, and then bury them as soon as I can in the soil, with the whole horn. I also do the 501. So I do the 501 spray, but I make the whole horn myself and bury them, and they fix areas. This area didn't frost for the first time in years. And it was cold. It was 33 degrees. We should have had frost. Everywhere else had frost around us. But the bananas are doing good. There's a big achacha tree there. You see it? It's getting big. There's a big guava tree right there. Got fruit on it. Come on. Yeah. It's a Ruby Supreme guava. It doesn't have worms. Last year during the drought, it was like finishing up a huge giant, during the summer drought, it was finishing up a huge giant productive fruiting, and I was eating them every day, but then the drought happened and it stopped. It cut those little, see those petrified guavas on there? That was from last summer's drought. Those are like petrified guavas. It just shut them off from water. Didn't kill the tree. The tree's fine. It's got fruit on it now. But I found that interesting. I noticed that you have to get your trees used to living in drought. So my little plants, not my air plants, my aeroids that I love so much that I'm trying to plant out here, you have to like send them to drought boot camp. So you have to dry them out a little bit, almost bring them to death, and then re-water them. And then you can put them outside and naturally grow them. It's bizarre. They just never learned it. I never had to signal their environment for water. They were always given water. It's a learning experience growing. That's why I share. So this is a orange sherbet mango. There's that mango I showed you from the other side. So it would have been 3 rows of mangoes here, but that row froze just right there. The sugar apples, I'm going to do another path just on this side of them. That's my last mowing I'm going to do, because it really does harm the soil, the mowing of it. But I need paths to get through to my sugar apples and stuff. That whole row of sugar apples that produce quite a bit of fruit. I need to be able to get to it easier. And I need to be able to dump manure easier. So this is a Super Julie. Smells so good. It's a Inga cinnamoniae that had froze when those mangoes froze. That mango froze. This would have been a whole row of mangoes. It also used to be 2 rows of sugar apples. You could see the remnants. There's one there. But I didn't plant ginger next to them. And the ones I planted ginger next to all survived. I don't know why, but that's what happened. That's why that row is the only one there, because it had ginger next to it, I believe. Maybe it got too much. This had standing water, maybe. That could have been the problem. Sugar apples and anonas, they don't grow well in standing water. So I have a row of ademoyas planted along here, and there's some big ademoyas down there. That's why I wanted that path down there, so I could have showed you, but I could show you next time, because I'm going to do it before next month's video. So this is Edgar. I had a friend named Edgar. That's the only reason why I got that. I had a friend die recently in Stewart. It was a old friend of mine, and just made the wrong lifestyle choices, unfortunately. It really affected me. I'm so happy to be alive. Grateful to serve the cow. This is a Floragon mango. This is a Keyser mango. That's a good mango. It's just starting to bloom. And I got a couple of mangoes over there I'm gonna go look at. Then I'll just go look at the cacao seedlings, and that'll be it. It's a long video. It just takes that long to get through this farm now. And I miss a lot of stuff. So this is a orange crushed jackfruit. This is a seedling jackfruit. That's a new planted mango. This is a black sapote. This is a male Garcinia humbromiana for sure. It's just starting to flower. So I wish that female would flower. I'm gonna look at these mangoes over here because this is a mango Taurus. So this mango, not sure who it is. There's a tag on it. I need to look at it. I see the tag. But it's starting to bloom, and it's in a very shade location, but it had never bloomed before. This is Super Julie. Or no, this is Juliet. This is a custard apple. This is Inga cinnamoniae that did not freeze this past year. These are all pigeon peas. There's a citrus there. There's all kinds of stuff in here. This is a Namdak Mai, and that's Floragon. They're finally getting big. It's taken a while. Get woodsy in here. Here's a citrus. So when I have citrus, little citrus like this, I cut this stuff back because I want, I bend it back because that will kill your tree. It's not the tree can't survive, and it needs a certain amount of cover, but if it can't get moisture dripping on it, it might not survive. There's a jackfruit. So you got to plant your citrus with small ginger. Plant big citrus with big ginger, or plant your citrus away from don't plant it too close. So I got some stuff in here. I got a little Adamoyas in here, and I got Luke's Garcinias in here. They're doing good. Here's a little Adamoya. It never lost its leaves. It's trying to be growed up. There's an Indicus spectabilis seedling. All these are all seed-grown trees. Got a jackfruit seedling, one of our jackfruits. There's a Garcinia Livingstonii, and there's a Garcinia Livingstonii male trees. There's that mango from the back. There's a fruiting jackfruit tree. No, that's the fruiting tree. Let me go over here. This is the fruiting jackfruit tree right here. I haven't even been able to go on all the trails today. It's been a good tour. I just want to look at these cacao. See all the little birds here? So many birds here. That's what I noticed. The difference between our place and other places is we have all these small little birds everywhere, and you can hear them. There's a Luke's Garcinia. That was a Luke's Garcinia back there. Okay, well this is a Yapan holly because, I drink my teas. I'm a firm believer in those fruit leaf teas. But this is a American indigenous Indian caffeinated drink made out of holly. And I'd stuck this in the ground. I got 10 of them, and I gave three of them, only 3 came alive, and I gave 2 away, and I planted this one in the ground. It's a little tiny cutting. It's a seed sugarloaf mango, and there it is. It's doing good. I spotted it. I'm like, that's the Yapan holly. I think this could be a hermaphrodite MB tree. Can you see it? I'll try now. There. It's a seed-grown mango tree that's trying to do something I would guess not flower, probably just flush. There's a seed-grown sugarloaf. They're both sugarloaf mango seedlings. And then this is where I have bananas and Luke's Garcinias and achachas and cacao. Lots of cacao, which is trying to come out of its winter slumber here. There's one. And there's one. They grow amongst the grass just fine. They're pretty big, these in here. There's other things in here. There's a cha-cha tree right there. There's another achacha tree right there. And then I was gifted a bunch of little ones that I wasn't sure if they were going to survive, because I just planted them out here because they have to survive the drought. That's part of the arrangement. I don't want to coddle anything along. So they're surviving. I see some. There's come on, behave. Camera. I see some that are surviving. This one is hanging in there. Stuff like this freaks people out. Why are you killing your trees? I'm not killing them. I'm trying to make trees that are hardier for Florida, that can grow and regenerate Florida. Not that just will die. So I want the ones that live. So there's achachas in here. There's a big achacha here. They're hard to see with the green on green. And there's a really big one right here. I really can't see a difference of the ones growing in full sun and shade. Maybe the ones in full sun have more foliage on them, and I think they're bigger. They're not as spindly looking, but I don't think it matters. Supposedly the fruit from achacha Iro grown in shade is sweeter than the fruit that from the sun-grown achachiro, but you get less fruit supposedly. Anyway, the little Monstera deliciosa is doing good. This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I hope everyone's doing well and taking care of Florida. Have a beautiful day.